Hi, Analisa Six here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the June 2024 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Libra for sun and rising placements. Welcome to June. We're in Gemini season. Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac and is mutable air and is very complementary to your energy, Libra. You are cardinal air sign. So cardinal air represents being more initiatory when it comes to your intellect, communication, thought processes, and it makes a really easy flowing trine to Gemini. So you guys are both on the frequency of air, so you speak a similar language. So Gemini energy can actually be really positive for Libra. Um, Every June, we start out in Gemini season. And so, right now, starting the month out, we've got the sun in Gemini, we have Venus in Gemini, we have Jupiter in Gemini, and then we also have Mercury entering Gemini on June 3rd. So, it's a lot of energy in Gemini that is making that trine to Libra. Your ruler is Venus, and so Venus is the esoteric ruler of Gemini, and it's harmonious. There's a very positive kind of flow of energy to you. The area of the chart for the horoscope for Libra that Gemini is in is the ninth house, which is the house that represents our connection to higher education and learning, long distance travel, spiritual studies, publishing, astrology lives here. The law also is here. So themes around the law and bureaucracy around the law comes up in the ninth house. But having the sun, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury all here, if you've been, kind of in a wanderlust place where you either want to seek new horizons spiritually, that is emphasized here. There's also a need to maybe travel and get out of your mundane, day-to-day tasks or routines that can be emphasized. Gemini also, similar to Libra, because Libra people can be really studious. Gemini in the ninth house is very much wanting to expand its knowledge. And so, if you've been feeling any inclination towards taking an educational program and expanding your knowledge around a certain subject, that's really supported for the month of June. The other energy that we have going into June is Mars finishing up its time in Aries. So for all of May, Mars has been opposing Libra in Aries. And for the first week of June, Mars is going to be in that cardinal fire sign in your seventh house of relationship. And when Mars is passing through the relationship houses, it does bring challenges and conflict to some of our relationship dynamics. In Aries, we're learning how to confront things, we're learning how to assert ourselves. Um, Mars in Aries is very action oriented and determined. Mars in Aries is the god of war. With Venus, that's our love language. With Mars, it's our fight language. And so when we have Mars passing through Aries, we're more in that state of driving energy forward, driving our will forward. And Libras, I know so many Libra individuals that have a lot of fight. I also know a lot of Libras that are very passive. Libra is associated with being more passive, non-confrontational, and kind of passive aggressive too. But I do know a lot of Libras that are very comfortable and confident in confrontation. And it just depends on where your Libra placements are. But, a lot of times Libra is learning how to have healthy conflict. What does healthy conflict look like? What does healthy confrontation look like? Passive aggressive confrontation is not healthy. Um, when we're passive aggressive, it's almost like kind of, I think of it being kind of like a backstabby kind of energy where we're not really being honest about how something is making us feel. So then we're being passive aggressive about it in a way that can be harmful to the person on the receiving end, because it can be confusing for the person on the receiving end. If you are somebody that knows what it's like to be in a passive aggressive relationship, it can be really confusing and emotionally abusive. Where somebody says that they're fine, but really the tone that they have and the way that they're behaving and the way they're treating you isn't fine. And then they won't tell you why things aren't fine. And you're just basically feeling this aura of negativity around them, and they won't be honest with you about what's really going on. And then by the time they are honest about it, usually they've had all this time for it to manifest into something much bigger and blow up. And that's really common with Libra dominant placements to fall into those tendencies, because you might be thinking that you can manage and let things go. And, maybe you're thinking like, oh, it's bothering me, but I don't want to make a bigger deal out of it. So I'm just going to act like it's not bothering me, even though my aura would suggest that I'm very unhappy by this situation. And people pick up on that stuff. So I think a lot of Aries, Libra dominant people in that axis think that they have a really good poker face, or think that they're good at stuffing things down and having it not influence their relationships, but it actually does. It influences your relationships a lot. And those things can blow up and manifest into bigger problems over time. And so a lot of times the Aries Libra axis is about, how do we maintain cooperation and compromise without self-abandoning and sacrificing things to the point where we build into this, volcano and blow up in this very Aries way. In the Aries Libra axis, we're also learning the value of, being selfish in healthy ways, but also being cooperative and compromising in healthy ways, because relationships do require some level of compromise and cooperation and understanding. In Aries, people want to charge ahead and be more self-oriented and self-focused. In Libra, people are more self-abandoning, self-sacrificing, and resentments can get built on both parts. So with Mars and Aries passing through your seventh house of relationship, those are some of the themes that you've been working through over the past couple of months when we've had so much Aries energy happening. And Mars here is really trying to help you figure out how to have more direct confrontation in relationships, and figuring out how to do it in ways that don't necessarily blow everything up, which can be a harder lesson. Also at the beginning of June, we're going to have on June 6th, a new moon at 16 degrees of Gemini. And the area that this is hitting in the chart is that area that's the ninth house, that has to do with our values, belief systems, spirituality, publishing, higher education, long distance travel, all those things we were talking about at the beginning. I say we, all those things I was talking about at the beginning. And new moons, are a time where we can set intentions for things that we want to manifest and call into our life. And so this is a really positive time for you to set intentions around those themes. If there's more things that you want to manifest, like an educational program, a trip somewhere, maybe there's something within your spiritual life. Maybe if you're in a legal battle with something, you want to manifest a certain outcome. This is a good time to set intentions towards that. On the 9th, Mars is going to leave your seventh house and enter the fixed sign of Taurus, which is the other sign that's ruled by Venus besides you. And the area of the chart that that's hitting in is the area that has to do with shared resources, marriage, sex, death, rebirth, the occult. I said sex, like taxes, loans, assets, those types of things. And when Mars is here, we do experience some conflict and challenges around those themes. And in Taurus, maybe the stability or structure of those things is somehow getting disrupted in some way, and we're forced to have to deal with something. So that's something that's happening for the rest of June that you're going to be working through and having to be mindful of. This can also ramp up your sex drive. So that's also something to kind of be aware of. After Venus and Mercury do their dance in Gemini, on the 17th, they're going to enter the cardinal water sign of Cancer. And Cancer makes a square to Libra. So there's some tension between Libra and Cancer because you're cardinal air, Cancer's cardinal water. But Venus and Mercury here are entering your career house, which is actually really positive for you. Venus in the 10th house usually means that there's a lot of work opportunities. So if you're looking for a new job, this is a really positive energy for you when it comes to finding a new job or applying for a job. If you want more income and more work opportunities, Venus passing through this area brings those opportunities. Mercury here is also really good for networking and working on communication dynamics at work. This is also really positive energy for getting promoted at work. So that's going to be happening the rest of the month in June. And then on the 20th, we actually enter Cancer season, and the sun's going to join the 10th house party and also light up your career. So your public life, your career, all of that's getting a big boost for the last half of June. On the 21st, the day after the summer solstice, we have our full moon in Capricorn, which is going to highlight your 4th and 10th house axis. So the 10th house is your career house, your public image, all of those themes. And then the fourth house is your home and family and how you connect to your home and your ancestral lineage, your relationship with your parents, anybody that you cohabitate with. This is tying to that. So, full moons are a great time for releasing, letting go, surrendering to energy, but it's also really positive time for manifesting. So your themes are career and home and family. So if there's things that you want to heal around ancestral karma or dynamics in the home, if you're hoping to manifest a new living situation, these are all good themes for you. The only other big shift of energy that we have for the month of June is Saturn stationing retrograde on the 29th, and it's going to be retrograde in Pisces until November. And the area of the chart that that's hitting for you is the area that has to do with your daily routine and your health. So if there's been things that you've been struggling with or working on in terms of your spiritual health, and your daily routine and kind of how you structure things in your life, that's going to come up for review during the Saturn retrograde. So that's just something to be aware of for the horoscope. I do a bigger breakdown on each individual transit in the June astrology forecast, which is at the top of this playlist. And so if you want more of those specific transits, you can watch that video. And I guess I will leave it here for you. If you liked this video, make sure to hit like, subscribe to get notified on when I post these. I do them every month. You can find me at theladyofleisure.com and thesobercurator.com. I do offer one-on-one sessions with people and private mentorship. If that's something that you're interested in, my email is in the description box and you can shoot me an email and tell me what you're interested in. Trying to think if there's anything else. My Instagram's at Lady of Leisure, and I look forward to seeing you guys next month. Good luck.